A terrifying and massive global superpower aggressively demanded the ultimate prize from West Africa. The arrogant British Empire wanted to steal the sacred Golden Stool of the Ashanti. This was not just a royal throne, it contained the soul of the nation. Legend says this magical artifact literally floated down from the heavens into their kingdom. Nobody was ever allowed to sit upon it, not even the great Ashanti kings. But the foreign governor demanded to rest his own feet upon their holy artifact. The brutal insult deeply terrified the wealthy male chiefs of the Golden Ashanti Empire. Fearing the powerful British military, the terrified men secretly debated surrendering their glorious kingdom. As the cowardice spread completely through the royal court, one remarkable older woman rose. Her name was Yaa Asantewaa, the fierce 60-year-old Queen Mother of Ejisu. She watched the powerful men tremble in fear while the British prepared their invasion. Disgusted by their absolute weakness, she fiercely mocked the terrified chiefs in the room. She boldly declared that if the men refused to fight, the women would lead. She grabbed a heavy iron gun and dramatically fired it into the dark sky. This shocking display of raw courage instantly ignited a massive and bloody colonial rebellion. The incredibly brave African queen immediately took total command of the entire military force. She rallied nearly 5,000 disciplined soldiers to fiercely protect their sacred spiritual artifact. Her loyal warriors completely surrounded the heavily armed British fort in the dense jungle. The terrified foreign invaders were suddenly trapped inside, without any food or clean water. She brilliantly commanded the intense siege, brutally cutting off all their vital supply lines. For several agonizing months, the heavily armed empire desperately struggled against her tactical brilliance. She ordered deep trenches dug around the massive compound to stop any enemy escapes. The British governor quickly realized he deeply underestimated this brilliant and ruthless female commander. Desperate for survival, the starving foreigners secretly begged their distant leaders for military reinforcements. Thousands of fresh imperial troops arrived with incredibly destructive artillery to break the siege. Despite facing devastating advanced weapons, her brave warriors fought relentlessly in the thick forests. Yaa Asantewaa completely refused to surrender, motivating her bleeding troops with legendary royal courage. Her soldiers bravely utilized brilliant guerrilla warfare tactics against the heavily favored invading army. The colonial invaders suffered terrible casualties while trying to capture this fiercely guarded territory. She magically maintained extremely high morale among her exhausted forces during the bloody conflict. Eventually, the overwhelming numbers and heavy modern artillery of the empire broke their defenses. The brave warrior queen was finally captured by the incredibly frustrated and exhausted British. They completely exiled her to a distant island, hoping to erase her inspiring legacy. But her massive sacrifice was not in vain. She secured an absolute ultimate victory. The arrogant invaders never managed to steal the sacred Golden Stool of the Ashanti. Her loyal people successfully hid the magical artifact deep inside the dense, dark jungle. Today, the magnificent stool remains entirely safe, perfectly untouched by the greedy foreign conquerors. She successfully protected the spiritual soul of her beloved nation from utter global destruction. She proved that true leadership requires absolute fearlessness in the face of certain death. History often ignores the incredibly powerful women who actively shaped massive ancient global empires. But her legendary name still terrifies the historical records of the invading colonial forces. She was entirely unbothered by the immense odds stacked heavily against her tribal forces. Yaa Asantewaa remains the greatest symbol of fierce African resistance against brutal imperial expansion. When cowardly men hesitated, this magnificent queen grabbed a weapon and demanded absolute respect. Her brilliant military strategy perfectly mirrored the elite tactical mind of great Queen Idia. They both boldly shattered unbreakable ancient traditions to protect their sacred civilizations from ruin. This immortal story desperately needs to be fully taught in modern schools around humanity. The glorious kingdom of Ashanti will forever honor the brave grandmother who commanded wars. She absolutely guaranteed that their rich cultural heritage would proudly survive for coming generations. To discover more hidden historical legends, smash that subscribe button and keep watching now.